trading cards, be it Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever, be it as a collector and how you put your cards away and organization, or if you're trying to sell like on TCGplayer or on eBay, and how you can organize these items so that way you can be able to find them quickly and easily. So today I'm going to show you several different ways that I do it and how I used to organize my cards to compared to how I am today. So let's just jump down into it. I'm going to show you how it is. One way that's still very popular and a lot of people use, definitely if you're like, your collection's that huge, use an ETB. I mean, these can hold roughly non-sleeve cards. It can hold between 550 to 575 Pokemon cards. So it's about the same for Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! You can just put them in. I would recommend not stuffing this all the way because it's hard to pull anything out. You need to leave yourself a little bit of room. But this is a way that I used to use all the time just to store stuff, because I could easily put anything I opened from Silver Tempest inside this box, and then boom, I know where my Silver Tempest cards are. I would usually go a step further than that, and I would have them organized. Depending on how, I've done many different ways throughout the years. It could be alphabetical, going from the front back. For demonstration, actually there's the Silver Tempest card right here. For a long time there, I would go off of the actual card number. Like this one's number 37 out of 195. So this would be the 37th card in place, going through. Another way that I'm using an ETB currently is, let me scoop this up, is like this. So I have this older ETB, and you can see there's a bunch of dividers inside of here. Let's see if you can kind of see them. They have set names on them, like that's SV3A. So this is my Japanese Pokemon cards that I currently have listed on TCGplayer. There's not enough of them for me to want to put them inside of a big row box yet. So ETB works perfect for this because I can easily go through, and I know if it's in SV10, I can flip to SV10, and then they're just alphabetized inside of that section inside the box. So that is the way that I'm going about doing this. Now, that is the downside of using something like this, is like I have this top loader in here that I usually wedge in place, so that way the cards don't they can't move a whole lot. So I use a top loader wedged in there to hold it in place. So that's another way you can kind of give yourself, there's a bunch of different other things you can use as well. Styrofoam, foam blocks. You'll see how I'm doing it from over my row boxes here in a second as well. But, pieces of boxes you can put in there, fit in there, stuff like that to be able to hold your cards in place. Now, so that is how I'm storing, like I said, my Japanese cards currently. Now we're going to jump over. We're going to go look at the boxes that I have in the background. So let's just do that. Boom. First time moving with the camera. So let's do this. I'm going to turn on a little light. Boom. I did not turn on the LEDs and stuff in the background. Didn't really feel like doing that for this video. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to... Oop, that's not very well. I'm going to show you this. So the first box we're going to look at, screen just turned off on me, is this one. Now how do I flip this back? Okay. So this box right here, I currently only have, I don't have it labeled yet because I haven't got to this side completely, is Silver Tempest, like that ETB I just held. So I have these cards organized alphabetical. As you can see, I'm using these tall card dividers, and then in between each one of them, I have these small card dividers. So the large ones are showing what part of the alphabet it is. So we're in A, and then the first divider has it broken apart where there's an Altaria. So all these cards are Altarias. Then it goes to Among Us. And just keep going. So I have, because of how many I have, I mean, that's roughly what? Between probably 1,500 to 2,000. Probably yeah, somewhere in that range of just Silver Tempest items inside of here. I do not have any. Looks like I've sold out of all of my more expensive. So this is pretty much all bulk at this point inside here. It's commons, uncommons, hollows, reverse hollows. None of the exciting cards to people, you know, the big hits. But I'll show you that in the next box, how that's done. So that is one way. I have this large, let me scoot these, like that so they don't fall. So I have a bunch of this kind of larger bubble wrap sheets that I'm currently using. If I just roll it up, sorry if it's a lot of sound, I can shove that down in there, and boom, now my cards won't fall. So you got to use whatever you have around you to be able to keep your cards upright. It's the same way for this box here. So this box is all Magic the Gathering. And some of the cards I've gone through for my collection on this. So currently, because I don't have very many Magic cards listed, I have it set up as near mint, light play, heavy or moderately played, heavy played, and damaged. So this is the one I've been working on the most here recently. So I got a full 5,000 row box right here, and starting, you know, I have a full row done on a 2 row as well. Now I know my handwriting's not the best, but it's easy to see, right? If you look at it from the top, you can easily see where all the, switch hands, where all the purple is marked. I did that as a way, as you can kind of see, I know where the next set starts. Like there's SVO2, so there's Paldea. There's Obsidian Flames, SVO3. Paradox Rift. And so on. You know, you get the point, right? All I did was use a purple Sharpie, and I colored in around where my label printer, and I printed out the name because I was afraid of my handwriting not being too well. So I colored the top of it. It's kind of hard to see that on here, but that way it's easy. You can easily quickly just find it, right? This is set up kind of like I just showed you on the Silver Tempest. Like this is all C's, and inside of there it is separated by each individual card. Not individual card, but each individual card name. Like there's a Capsicum. I mean, you just keep going, right? And if you can tell, some of these have, let me grab this one. Like, I still have my reverses in here. My hollows reverses still have penny sleeves on them. So that's the easy way I know. That is one way I've been organizing these things. All my stuff that already had penny sleeves on it, I just left them on there. Moving forward, I'm really not doing the penny sleeves on reverses or hollow rares. I can just put them in place. But what I do is, I'm going to use this deck as an example, the Cyclozar. So all these, I'm trying not to kill this with the shadow of me too much, but it's all regular. Oh, screen turned off again. All regular Cyclozars, and at the back of it is where my reverses are. So that way I know, like if I get an order for a Scarlet and Violet 1 base set, Cyclozar, reverse hollow, I know to go to the C's. It's a CY, so I know it's going to be at the back towards where D starts. And I know my reverses are at the back of each card. Or that respective card, right? So it's easy for me to find. I have to set this like this for a second. Oh, come on, sit down. My mic unplugged. Okay, I'm sorry if the audio quality is changing. I don't know how to fix this with this new camera. But that is the general way of how you can easily go through and find. Now, the downside to this, like I have a lot, as you can see, of Scarlet and Violet base. It goes 2 rows and not even a quarter of a next. It's easy to be able to see in between each row, like there's a good separation because of how many of each card I have, right? But when I come over to any of these other sets, like Temporal Force. If you can see inside there, like there might be one card being divided between each. I'm trying this out to see if I like to do the divider between each one to find it. But I'm not set on it yet for the low amount cards. Kind of like Surging Sparks. Back here, I just have it alphabetized. Like this is A. These are all my B's inside this. And I think this is definitely the cheaper route to go because these like tall card dividers or the short card dividers, like they are cheap, but when you have this many going on, it starts to add up pretty quick. I'll have them linked in my description as well if you like these. I will say the downside to using these, get it up, using these tall ones, like this is my mic just fell out. Great. So that's the top of the box of a 5-row with a half lid. I don't have a full lid where it matches the entire height of the box. But as you can see, the lid won't sit all the way down. It'll stop at the top of these. Which, having it set up like this, I go through this every single day. So I'm okay not putting a lid on. That's why it's on the bottom. But that's just part of it. That is one of the downsides to use these taller ones, but it is nice having the 2 different size dividers because you can easily just flip through and get to it. Now I'm going to show you a way that I was doing it. Oh. This is how, once I upgraded from an ETB, because kind of like I showed in the Japanese, that's how I started. Let me come back over here. Do I have one? No, I got rid of it. So how I originally started, because if you only have 100 to 200 cards, you don't need to be using big boxes. You can do like I did on this Japanese stuff, right? Let me flip the screen. Okay. Well, you just go through and you just, like, you don't even need all these dividers. Oops. Like, you don't even need all the dividers inside there. I would say just alphabetize it and put them inside the ETB. If you have like under 400 cards, in all honesty, that's the way I'd still rock it, because once you start getting into all this, it does start to become a lot more difficult. I don't say difficult. It takes a lot more room, right? And you don't need a 5-row until you need a 5-row, right? So I'd say start with the ETB, grow into it. I eventually grew into a 2-row box because I've had these, I've had this for many years now. So I just started using this before I bought another 5-row. And this is how I started trying to be more organized, right? I eventually ran out of the label maker paper, and I had to start writing it on the top loaders. I'd put a piece of tape. I don't know if you can see that gloss going across, right? I'd put that, and then I'd write on that tape what this set was. That way I can easily take this tape off if I need to in the future and can use it. But I have, and that's how all of this is going to be organized as well. It's going to be organized how TCG Direct flow is on the set names. So like, what I mean by that is like Crown Zenith, it's alphabetical, right? Comes before, what was that, Celestial? Before deck exclusive, Deoxys. Like, you can see how it's just alphabetized by set, right? And you can use anything. Like, you don't have to buy them white, dividers. This came out of ETB. It's from, what is that, Fusion Strike? I just put a piece of tape. I use the index card. So that way it's actually sticking up above the divider itself. So it could sit and it could be sticking up and I can see it. So, I mean, there's many different ways that you can go about doing this. You don't have to use the dividers. I am just a fan of these dividers because they're thin. They're not a smooth surface, I'd say. They have like a little bit of a textured feel to them. So they have a raised face on it. It's not really the best way to say that. I don't want to really call it like a raised face, right? Like it, it's not just smooth. So that way it gives many areas of contact against your card, and it's not just smooth where your entire card's is touching this. So you have a chance of any type of wear on your card from these when you're flipping through. Like if you're going through and just flipping through your cards, I'm not worried about grabbing these and turning them, right? Or moving them. So that's pretty much it. That's how I'm organizing. Like right now, all of this, with this Magic, the Silver Tempest, man, if I could think. This little bit of cards I have inside of here. Set that box over there. And pretty much all of my Scarlet and Violet era cards, besides all the new stuff I just got in. This is roughly 9,200 cards. So that just gives you the idea of... Oh, let me flip this. Okay. So I'll give you like a rough idea. Like this is 9,200 cards. Sorted and put away. Now, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to put you back in this. So that way I can easily just talk. Perfect. So, organization does take a lot of time. Like you have to put time into it, but it's really not that hard to do. It's pretty quick. Once you get a hang of it, you know what you're doing. I do like the idea of separating each different type of card name. You know, it makes it faster for when you're pulling cards to ship, which is my big focus now, being on the still on TCGplayer. So there's also, for people like on eBay, who was that? That's RNG Games and oh my goodness, I can't think of his name right now. There's another individual. I'll put his name right here. I'm so bad with names. That actually just came with the video on organizing and doing the chaos method. And that's where, you know, I would recommend going and watching their videos. They do great videos about this type of organization, but it's like a batch listing. So all these cards, they'd go through, like the stack, they'd go through, list all these cards, and this would be like row 1, batch A. And that's what their divider would say, right? And then the next row, they do the same thing again. Well, another batch, this would be row 1, batch 2. Goes right behind it. I understand and the reasoning for that type of sorting and listing. Definitely if you're selling on eBay, because you're able to list stuff a lot faster, you know, and put it up faster. That's a big reason for it, as the organization behind after the listing is a lot faster. And they know they can just go to that batch number. If that card sells on eBay, they can go to that batch number and easily flip through and find it. Now, for your personal collection and stuff like that, I don't think that's a great method at all. I would really recommend doing it, organize it however it makes sense to you. Be the alphabetical, you know, by the card number, like we talked about earlier, on the bottom, per each set. Organizing them by color. Like you'd have all your blue, red, green, yellow. I said that wrong, didn't I? Green, blue, red, yellow, green, red, blue, yellow. Man, if I can remember how the color organization goes, you can do it that way. It's whatever makes sense to you, right? Like Magic the Gathering, you can do it by colors. You know, white, blue, black, however you want to do it. Multicolor. You can do it by like a Magic converted mana cost. And that's a way I've seen people do it in the past as well. Like they have all their one cost converted mana cost cards in one stack. Next organization's all 2, 3, so on. I do it this way, is behind you. You know, alphabetized by set, because that is the easiest way for me to go through and grab the cards for TCGplayer when I sell. It also makes sense for me. That's pretty much how I was doing it anyways, for my collection sake. Just because I would have the set, I could alphabetize them, and then if I ever needed to pull a card for a deck, I know where I could find it easily. And that's the whole point of this, is to be able to find your stuff easily. So, tell me how you organize your cards, your collections. I'm curious. If you have any questions, ask them down below in the comments, and I'll answer in any way possible. I'll see you on the next one.